Welcome everyone. Let's continue with our practice session and try to learn the basics of Sketcher palette. Just to give you guys a reminder, we will be sticking to the two basic guidelines we discussed in my previous video as well. First guideline, we will try to eliminate all weak dimensions, implying we will try to get rid of any blue dimensions in our sketch. All dimensions in our final sketch should be in black color. Second guideline, we will depict only those dimensions in our final sketch which we can see in our drawing. For example, in this drawing for which we will be constructing a sketch, we will exactly be specifying 6 dimensions. That is, the 3 dimensions in the horizontal direction, 35, 25 and 30 units respectively, and the 3 dimensions in the vertical direction, 25, 30 and 15 respectively. So please note, we will not show any other dimension in our final sketch apart from these 6 dimensions. Apart from these guidelines, we also discussed the standard sequential procedure which will be followed in creating this sketch. There were 4 steps in this sequential procedure. Step 1. Always create a rough sketch of your drawing first. Rough sketch means a sketch which resembles as closely as possible to the actual drawing without specifying the actual dimensions or the constraints. Step 2. Specify all dimensions provided in your drawing but do not give exact values of your dimensions here. Step 3. Specify appropriate constraints and eliminate all weak dimensions. Step 4. Specify exact dimensions using the Modify button in the ribbon. This sequential procedure will become more clear when I will take on this practical example. So let's look at this practice problem now. So as a standard procedure, we will first set up the working directory. I will set it up in my documents where I have PTC CREO lectures, and I can click OK. Then I will go and create a new file, and that too a sketch file, and I can name it as trial_4 and click on OK. Now, in order to start creating this, we will go to the step 1 of our sequential procedure. That is, always create a rough sketch of the drawing first. So in order to do that, I'll go to the line command and specifically select the line chain command. And I'll create the rough sketch now. Please note that I'm not worried about the dimensions at all here. So I can create something which resembles the drawing that you can see on your computer screen. So I've created a rough sketch. Now I'll proceed to step 2 of the sequential procedure. That is, I will specify all dimensions which are provided in your drawing, but I will not give the exact values of your dimensions here. So I'll go to the dimension button, I'll click on dimension, and I'll start specifying these dimensions now. I'll first specify the horizontal dimensions. I'll click at this point, then at this point, go down, hover my mouse down, and click the middle mouse button. I'll click again the middle mouse button to specify this dimension. I'll go to this point, again to this point, click on both of them, hover my mouse down, and click the middle mouse button. And again, I'll click the middle mouse button to exit or specify this dimension. I'll again go to this point, click on it, to this point, click on it, hover my mouse down, and click the middle mouse button, and I'll again click the middle mouse button to specify this dimension. So I've specified all the 3 horizontal dimensions. I'll do the same procedure for the vertical dimensions now. So I'll go to this point, click on it, to this point, click on it, hover my mouse to a little on the left and click the middle mouse button and click the middle mouse button again. I'll repeat the same steps to specify the two remaining vertical dimensions. So this is the last vertical dimensions, and I'll click the middle mouse button to specify it. Now I have to click the middle mouse button once again because, as you can see, the dimension button is still active and I need to exit it. So in order to exit it, I'll just click the middle mouse button one last time. Now the third step was to specify appropriate constraints and eliminate all weak dimensions. But as you can see, we do not have any weak dimensions in this case because the sketch is properly constrained. So we can move to step 4 of the sequential procedure, which is to specify exact dimensions using the modify button in the ribbon. So in order to do that, I will select the entire sketch that I've created, and then I'll go to this modify button that's there at the top in this ribbon. I'll click on it, and then what I need to do is I need to lock the scale, and now I can specify any one of these dimensions. Let's say I would like to specify this dimension, that is 4.6. So I'll go to this 4.6 dimension and I can specify the exact or the true dimension here, which is basically 35 units. So I'll type 35 and I'll click on OK. Now I need to refit this entire sketch that I've created. For that, I'll go to this button which states refit. So it fits the entire sketch that I created back on my screen. So now what I can do is I can start specifying the true dimensions. So I've already done it for this particular dimension. This has to be 25 units. So I can double click on it and type 25 here, hit enter. This has to be 30 units. I can double click on it, type 30, hit enter. Similarly, I can do the same thing for the vertical dimensions. This has to be 25 units, so I can double click on it, type 25 and hit enter. This has to be 30 units. I can double click on it, type 30, hit enter. And this is supposed to be 15 units. So I can double click on it, type 15, hit enter, and I can finally refit the entire sketch one more time. So following the 4 standard sequential procedure, we have created this sketch. So we'll meet in the next session with some further learning aspects. Till then, keep in modeling. Thank you.